The Ocmulgee River is a western tributary of the Altamaha River, approximately 255 miles long, in the U.S. state of Georgia. It is the westernmost major tributary of the Altamaha. The Ocmulgee River and its tributaries provide drainage for some 6,180 square miles in parts of 33 Georgia counties, a large section of the Piedmont and coastal plain of central Georgia. The Ocmulgee River Basin has 3 river subbasins designated by the U.S. Geological Survey: the Upper Ocmulgee River Subbasin, the Lower Ocmulgee River Subbasin, and the Little Ocmulgee River Subbasin. The name of the river may have come from a Hitchiti words oki plus mulki, possibly meaning where the water boils up. Description: the river rises at a point in north-central Georgia southeast of Atlanta, at the confluence of the Yellow, South, and Alcovy rivers. Since the construction of the Lloyd Shoals Dam in the early 20th century, these rivers join as arms of the Jackson Lake Reservoir. The river's source is formed at an elevation of around 530 feet above sea level. The Ocmulgee River flows from the dam southeast past Macon, which was founded on the fall line. It joins the Oconee from the northwest to form the Altamaha near Lumber City. Human use: 4 power plants in the Ocmulgee Basin that use the river's water, including the coal-fired plant Sharer in Juliet, operated by the Georgia Power Company. Fish fauna: a diverse array of fish, 105 species in 21 families, inhabit the Ocmulgee River Basin. The family with the largest representation in the river basin is Cyprinidae, with 27 species. It is followed by Centricidae, which has 22 species. The Ocmulgee Basin contains 10 species in the family Ictaluridae and 8 species in the family Catostomidae. The river basin is also inhabited by one state of Georgia designated endangered fish species, the Altamaha shiner, and 2 designated rare species, the gold-striped darter and red-eye chub. The Ocmulgee River is popular with anglers for its excellent fishing, particularly for red-breast sunfish, bluegill, red ear sunfish, largemouth bass, black crappie, channel catfish, and flathead catfish. The world record for largest recorded catch of a largemouth bass was achieved in 1932 in Montgomery Lake, an oxbow lake off the Ocmulgee River in Telfair County. The record-setting fish, caught by farmer George Washington Perry, weighed 22 pounds, 6 ounces. The International Game Fish Association officially declared the world record for largemouth bass tied in 2010, following Manabu Kurita's catch of a 22-pound, 4-ounce largemouth bass in Lake Biwa in Japan. There are some 15 invasive species of fish which inhabit the river basin, according to a Georgia Department of Natural Resources report. Many of these species are well established and are detrimental to native fish populations. The 15 invasives are threadfin shad, goldfish, grass carp, blacktail shiner, common carp, flathead catfish, white bass, maroon hybrids, green sunfish, long-ear sunfish, lepomus hybrids, shoal bass, spotted bass, white crappie, and yellow perch. History: archaeological evidence shows that Native Americans first inhabited the Ocmulgee Basin about 10,000 to 15,000 years ago. Scraping tools and flint spear points from nomadic Paleo-Indians hunters have been discovered in the Ocmulgee floodplain. In the Archaic period which followed, hunter-gatherers in Ocmulgee Basin used fiber-tempered pottery and stone tools. During the woodland period, there were various villages in the area evidenced by earthen mounds and pottery sherds. There is evidence that the Mississippian culture reached the Ocmulgee Basin by 900 CE, according to the New Georgia Encyclopedia. On the Macon Plateau and in the nearby Ocmulgee bottomlands, stretches of farmsteads and gardens constructed around elaborate ceremonial mounds are the most prominent evidence of this early Mississippian influence. These areas are now part of the Ocmulgee National Monument, a National Park Service-administered protected area established in 1936. Europeans first explored the Ocmulgee Basin in 1540, during the expedition of the Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto and his party, who visited the late Mississippian chiefdom of It, now identified by archaeologists as the floodplain south of Macon. The It served corn cakes, wild onion, and roasted venison to De Soto and his party. Over the next 100 years, however, the Native Americans in the area were devastated from disease and chaos following European contact. Eli Whitney's invention of the cotton gin stimulated development of short staple cotton plantations in the uplands, where it grew well. The gin mechanized processing of the cotton and made it profitable. Demand for land in the southeast increased, as well as demand for slave labor in the Deep South. In 1806, the U.S. acquired the area between the Oconee and Ocmulgee rivers from the Creek Indians by the First Treaty of Washington. The same year, United States Army established Fort Benjamin Hawkins overlooking the Ocmulgee Fields. In 1819, the Creek held their last meeting at Ocmulgee Fields. They ceded this territory in 1821. In the same year, the McCall brothers established a barge-building operation at Macon. The first steamboat arrived on the river in 1829. During the 19th century, the river provided the principal water navigation route for Macon, allowing the development of the cotton industry in the surrounding region. In 1842, the river was connected by railroad to Savannah. The river froze from bank to bank in 1886. In 1994, devastating floods on the river after heavy rains caused widespread damage around Macon. Ocmulgee creeks. Major creeks that flow into the Ocmulgee River include Tusafachi Creek, Eshikone Creek. This tributary's name means deer trap in the Muskogee language, the language of the creek. It refers to the steep incline of the creek where creeks would trap deer, luring them into steep areas and then charging them. Alligator Creek, Big Indian Creek, Coley Creek, Big Horse Creek, Flat Creek, Folsom Creek, Horse Creek, Jordan Creek, Limestone Creek, Little Ocmulgee River, Little Shellstone Creek, Little Sturgeon Creek, Mossy Creek, Otter Creek, Richland Creek, Sandy Run Creek, Savage Creek, Shellstone Creek, South Shellstone Creek, Sturgeon Creek, Sugar Creek, 10 Mile Creek,